Hey guys, this is Toni and welcome to Action for Aging, where we're tackling life's most underestimated season with intentional action and a big dose of self-love. If it's your first time here and you're searching for a channel dedicated to the mature season of life, then welcome. This is your community. I'd like you to go ahead and join by hitting that red subscribe button below. You'll also find a red bell icon right next to that. If you were to go ahead and just ring that bell, it would guarantee that you wouldn't miss any of my future content as it's being released. Now, the other day I did a video about life lessons learned on the go, and I introduced you to somebody that we call Farmer Walker. If you haven't seen that, I'll go ahead and link that right there for you. I'm going to kind of build on that today because as I filmed and uploaded that video, it was, I think, the day after I had a follow-up experience, and I would have combined them had it happened prior to my filming. So let me tell you about the deal. I was at a thrift store with my family. That's something we enjoy doing on our day off. And so my daughter and I, we were going down an aisle and we were kind of just, going through some clothing, and a lady walked in, a senior lady. She was, looked to be, 70s, 80s. And she went up to the desk, and I guess you can drop donations off there to be on consignment. And so she was kind of checking on that. And she was talking with the ladies that were working the desk. Now, these ladies are all retired as well, and this particular thrift store is set up through their church, and so they give their time and volunteer. And they gave the typical, hello, how's everything going today? And the other lady said, not well. She hadn't had a good week. And they got to talking about that a little bit, and apparently she had gone to the license bureau, and she was due to renew her driver's license in about 5 months. And in our state, I'm not sure if it's this way everywhere, but in our state, you can request to have that done early. You don't have to wait until you're closer to expiration. And she said that she had done it this way for the last 20 years or so. But this time when she went in, it was different. And these ladies were listening, and they were giving her their attention, but they weren't really responding as if they were engaged with her story. And she started to cry, and that's what really got my attention. And she continued to try to let her story unfold, but she was so emotional. And I don't know if these other ladies were caught off guard. I don't know if they weren't sure where she was going with the story, how to respond. But they just kind of looked and were listening. And as she continued to speak, she continued to cry more. And I couldn't take it. And I walked right up to her and I said, I just want to give you a hug. And that's exactly what I did. And she hugged me back so tightly. I almost knocked her beautiful felt hat off her head. She had the most beautiful hat on. And we continued to talk. We continued to talk 3 times. We talked there and 2 other times in the store. And I learned so much, guys. Her name was Helga. She gave me her first name and her last name. And she was 81 and gorgeous. I told her, you are so pretty, Helga. She had the most beautiful skin and the most beautiful eyes, kind eyes. They were crystal clear blue. They were gorgeous. And you could see that Helga has always taken pride in her appearance, and her hat was beautiful and her coat. And so here's the story. So she went to the license bureau, and apparently they asked her for different documentation other than the driver's license that she had. So she went to her car and she brought back something that showed that she was a naturalized citizen. And when they received that, they told her that she wouldn't be able to receive her license early. And I came to find out as she continued to let her story unfold that moment, regardless of how it was intended by the people that worked at the license bureau, and I'm very suspicious that maybe the law has changed since the last time that she went to get a license based on our immigration policies and things like that. May or may not be true, but I'm kind of wondering about that. When she brought that paper in, that was when they told her, no, you'll need to wait. And that's what stirred up the tears. That's what upset her. It turns out that Helga was born in Germany. And when she was a young girl, she remembers aspects of World War II. She was born in 1936, I believe she said. And so you're going to fast forward into the 1940s for World War II. And her husband was an American soldier. And apparently he took continued assignments in Germany after the war, and she met him in her later teens. They didn't even speak the same language. She didn't speak any English at all. She said her aunt did, and her aunt ran a little restaurant in their town, and he and some fellow soldiers were there eating at the restaurant, and in walks Helga, and she described what she was wearing, and oh, I bet she was gorgeous. And she had a polka dotted dress on, and she had nylons on and high heels. And he told her aunt, who was bringing some food to the table, I'm gonna marry that girl. And he didn't know that that was her niece, and the aunt ended up playing interpreter, and they ended up courting. And she said that they courted for over a year. And when it came time to leave Germany and for him to go back to the States, in order to take her with him, she made a joke out of it, but she said he paid $300 for me. He had to pay some fee to move some paperwork along, and that fee was $300. And so they got married, and she came back to the United States and became a naturalized citizen here. And apparently when that paper was requested from her, and she was told, no, this time you won't be able to get your license early, it stirred up a lot of things that she went through being German, things related to the war. For one, she immediately did not know how to receive this rejection from the License Bureau. And she even said to me, you don't think there's any chance at all, do you, that the person that was helping me was discriminating against me? And I said, Helga, there is so much discrimination that goes on in the world. I want to share a quote with you. It's from this book here, by the way. This is Dogwood by Chris Fabry, and he had a radio program and may still on Moody Bible Institute, and his wife Andrea Fabry, she used to have a radio program called Midday Connection, if any of you guys remember that. And I loved listening to her radio program. And so this is a fiction book that I read a while back, but there's one quote in here I want to share. And it says, life isn't pretty, so you gotta hug the ugly out of it. Isn't that the truth? Life isn't always pretty, and sometimes we just have to hug the ugly out of it. And that's what I did. I gave Helga a hug, and she was just, when we were talking about the discrimination, I said, Helga, there's discrimination based on age, there's discrimination based on gender, there's discrimination based on nationality, and I'd like to think that it didn't have anything to do with that. I can't tell you whether or not, you know, that person's heart had other intentions, but I want it to be resolved. And she had said that she had spoken with a television reporter and that they were actually going to go and talk to the License Bureau. So I assured her that I would be praying about that it would be resolved and that peace would be restored to her heart. She shared so much about her husband and their relationship and how they were the very best of friends, and that sometimes she took criticism for that, that they took criticism for that. And when she moved here, you know, this was after the war, they experienced a lot of hate. Her husband was accused of being a Nazi lover, and Helga remembers those comments, but she loves this country so much. And she said that's what hurt. She felt like she was being treated differently, as if she wasn't a citizen of the United States. And I just feel like so much pain and so much anguish was stirred up over that incident that she may have misperceived or not. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know exactly what the reasoning was. I just know that she was hurting. And I just know that I couldn't stand there and I couldn't watch her hurt and not do something to try to comfort her. And so I introduced her to my family. You know, my oldest wasn't there, but everybody else was. And right before she left, she told me, how my kindness had just meant so much to her, and just kind of restored her faith in people, and that we're kind and that we're good. And she told me about American soldiers sharing their rations with the Germans after the war, their sea rations, and she said those things literally kept her alive, and that's the kind of goodness that she just treasures in people. And she assured me that she'd be praying for me and my family, specifically that as our lives continue to unfold, that we would just have so many blessings in it the way she did with her husband, whom she lost 11 years ago. So again, guys, I just want to encourage you. We have such an opportunity to still make a difference in life, whether we're reaching out to a younger generation and sharing our wisdom with them and showing them that we want to invest in them, that they matter, or whether we're reaching up to more senior generations and we're showing compassion and care. If you go into my comment section from the video I posted the other day about life lessons on the go, you're going to want to look up Beth's comment. Beth's channel is called 50 Plus Beauty, and she does beauty and skincare and fashion. And my favorite part of each one of her videos is where she gives us an inspirational quote at the end, and truly it will inspire you, as will her positive attitude as she shares that with you. But if you'll go and find her comment in my comment section on that video, I promise you, you're going to read a beautiful story about how Beth chose to get involved and to reach out to somebody senior to her, and she discovered how important it was that she had actually done that. And so let that be inspiring to you. There has got to be somebody that you could make a difference in their life. Some of the things I like to do are to share a meal, send a card. How easy is that, right? Stop and take the time like I did in the store and give somebody a hug. Pray with them right there. If you're a person of faith, that's something you can do right there, if you're comfortable with that. But just be inspired, okay, guys? In this season, we can act and we can have impact, and that is just a wonderful thing. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. The sun is shining out my window again. I can see a little bit of ice on the pond. It's chilly here, but March 1st, I don't know about the rest of you guys, March 1st is spring. I cannot allow winter to go on one day past that. I don't care what the official day is. March 1st, there could be 3 feet of snow and a blizzard outside, but here in Toni's world, it is spring. So I'm counting the days down. They're going to be here soon. And again, if you have not subscribed, take care of that right now. Hit that red subscribe button below. I do release my new videos on Sunday night, sometime after 8 p.m., usually very late, so you'll want to check back Monday mornings. That's always a great time. And I'm doing my best to bring bonus videos to you throughout the week, so please be on the lookout for those as well. And as always, guys, please remember that you are so special and you are so very valuable in this season of life, this mature season that we're in right now. So act on it. Goodbye, friends.